Later on in the afternoon, she was asked, Caroline was, a question, 1642 here, Paul. She was asked a question about the Supreme Court hearing this parental objection to schools forcing kids to participate in LGBTQ readings in the classroom. Little kids. Listen.
And then on the Supreme Court, I know the court is hearing a case dealing with parents who don't want their kids having to read gender ideology books in schools. Can you comment on that case and what the Trump administration hopes to see come from that?
Sure. We hope the Supreme Court will do the right thing, and the president has been very clear. He stands on the side of parental rights, and he believes strongly that parents should have a greater say in their children's education and the content, if you will, that children are being exposed to in our public school system.
Meanwhile, over at Fox yesterday, Martha MacCallum talked with that lunatic Randi Weingarten. She heads the teachers union, one of the teachers unions out there. The American Federation of Teachers, I believe, is hers. And in 1656, things didn't go so well for Randi. Martha didn't care much at all for her tone. And this really, when you listen to this exchange, I want you to imagine a man. I want you to imagine a male voice speaking to Martha MacCallum this way as you listen to the exchange between these two women.
Sweetheart, listen to me.
Please don't call me sweetheart.
It actually does. I'm sorry. My bad. It actually does matter.
Yeah. Sweetheart. Don't call me sweetheart. Eddie? Can you imagine a man telling Martha MacCallum, hey, sweetheart, listen up?
No, not at all. No.
She doesn't do herself any favors here. 1655, they're discussing this very issue.
Do you believe, though, that there's an appropriate age to have a discussion? These are 4 to 6-year-olds, and they're being read, and this is out loud in the classroom, not just, oh, this is a book on the shelf in the library. If there's a particular child that, you might want to read this with, but, just as an example, my pronouns are like the weather. They change depending on how I feel, and that's okay because they're my words. Sometimes I use all the pronouns I can think of, just as one example here.
Let me put it this way.
Go ahead.
Martha, and I think that this will be shocking to you. These would not be the books I would be reading as a classroom teacher to kids who are 4 to 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I say this, I went through the New York City public school system. I was a teacher during when we had the big issue around Heather Has Two Mommies. And I think when you don't actually make sure that things are age appropriate and we don't actually have sufficient conversations with teachers and parents in terms of how we accept differences, then you have situations like this right now.
Okay.
And
right.
so
this pit of hell stuff, look, if I believed her, if I trusted this woman, I'd say that's a refreshing point of view. Randi Weingarten saying, you know what, actually, I don't think 4 and 6-year-olds need to be exposed to books about sexuality. I actually wouldn't support that, is what she said in that clip. But she goes on to talk about differing points of view, and that's why I played that Eva Longoria clip in the last segment for you. These people believe they are morally superior to you. They believe they have a duty to infect your children and come between you and your children. They have a moral imperative to get a hold of your kids and teach them that you are a backwards idiot if you believe in a creator. You're a backwards idiot if you believe in the law of God, the word of God. You're a backwoods hillbilly moron. And the smart, morally superior people are found in our public schools and in our public school classrooms. And don't you see, they have a unique and special bond with your child that you don't share. They're with your child 8 hours a day. They get to decide who he or she reads and hears. They get to decide if they want to keep a secret from mom and dad, if the child decides that he or she wants to become a different gender, as if that's even possible. This is happening with increased frequency. People that are coming out of these public education factories that want to go in to teach it. And this, again, I'm not speaking universally of everyone in public education. I say again, I feel I have to, the obligatory. My wife was a public school teacher. My mother was one for 30 years. My great-grandmother was a public school teacher. I was a public school kid. I'm not anti-public school teacher just for the sake of everybody being a public school teacher. I am telling you that the young people that are coming out of institutions to educate young people in this country are largely wild-eyed indoctrinators. And they believe they are on a crusade to get your children's minds right. And they believe they are duty-bound to rescue your kids from you if you don't share the point of view that if it feels good, do it. If you were born a certain gender, you can change that if you want. We've never seen a darkness coming for our children quite like we're seeing in modern American history today, 2025. It's unprecedented. It's why homeschooling is exploding. It's why Christian schools across the country are growing. Think of Montgomery County spending taxpayer dollars right now before the United States Supreme Court to hold the position, we have the right and we will fight hard for the right to read literature to your children that you object to. We have the right to do it, and we're going to fight you all the way to the Supreme Court for that. That's how committed they are to this. Don't you ever doubt how deadly serious they are about getting a hold of your kids.
The Chris Stigall Show podcast.